anyone watching this video, welcome family. I know first off I want to apologize. I want to apologize because I said that I will come on early today. Got a little sidetracked. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I had somebody come to the door, but yeah, I want to apologize. Like I said, I want to apologize. I'm supposed to be on early today, early this morning. So, but better late than never. I'm here. So anyway, first off, I want to talk a little bit about Hope Church of Christ. They have word up on Facebook every day at 12 o'clock, 12 Eastern, and the message today came from Jeremiah, Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5 through 8, and it was titled "No Worries, No Worries." And he's pretty much one thing I took that we as people, men and women, are the architects or engineers of mess. The engineers of mess. And so, and God is the author of peace. And he also said, regardless of what's going on in the world, we need to hold on to God's unchanging hand. And so, being that that's one of my dad's favorite songs, I'm gonna sing a little bit of that, and then I get into the Song of Solomon and what I read today. So, if you know the words to the song, sing along with me. I don't know, maybe I should have it in front of me, but I'm doing the best I can. So, just sing along with me. Uh, Time is filled with swift transition. Whatsoever it may bring, if by earthly friends forsaken, still something to him here we cling. But here's, of course, here's the best part. Hold to his hand. God's unchanging hand, you better hold to his hand. God's unchanging hand, you better build your hopes on things eternal. Hold to God's unchanging hand. Say, trust in him who will not leave you. All right. All right, that's a little song, but that's what he said. He said, hold to God's unchanging hand. So check him out. Like I said, every day if you're on Facebook. If you're not, get on Facebook. And they also have our Win Wednesdays on on our YouTube. So Hope Church of Christ, check them out. Pastors Alvin Daniels. So check it out. But anyway, today I read. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the live. Today I read from Proverbs. And like I said, hey, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to the live. But I actually like I said, I read Proverbs today, and he talked about it's from Songs of Solomon. Solomon, if you know anything about the Bible, I'm still learning. I'm not a minister now, so I'm just learning myself, and I'm just sharing as I learn. Maybe if you know something more about the Bible than I do, please put it in the comment section below. But Solomon was a wise man, and you know, one thing I wrote down in chapter 1, he said that a wise man will hear and will increase in learning. And so I thought about that, like a lot of times, we hard headed, we bump our head, and and you know, we think we know, and we don't know. You know what I mean? We think we know, and we don't know. So and then it says another one I read is the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So now, if you want to post something, if you want to say something, say it, and so YouTube won't block it, because I'm not going to unblock anything. It says message, it's up for review. So if you want to say something, say it, and appreciate it. If you want to say something, just say it in plain English, so we all can see it, and it won't get blocked by YouTube. So anyway, you know, it says The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. And so that's a great passage that I read. That was good too. That that you can appreciate. The fear of the Lord. How many of us? I know I have to think about that for myself. Do I do I fear the Lord? I love the Lord, but do I fear the Lord? So that's something I had to think about within myself, and maybe you can think about it too, and you know that put some in your arsenal, maybe something for you to think about. That's chapter 7. I mean that's verse 7, chapter 1. Verse 7, chapter 1, chapter 1, verse 7. And so I also wrote down chapter verse 8. My hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother, for they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. So that 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 was great too. To listen to if you have guidance. We don't pick our kids, we don't pick our parents either. And so when you have instruction, like a lot of times when we get into certain situations, it's not that we don't know, not that we ain't being told whether your father or mother are together or they're not together. Well, hopefully you have somebody in your life that's telling you something right and telling you right from wrong, and it's up to us to listen. And sometimes we tend to do what we want to do. So thought about that verse, and I was like, yeah, because I know, I know. Oh yeah. I'm talking about politics here. Like I said, we put it in God's hands. We put it in God's hands. We know what's going on in the world, but we can't do anything about it. Like we got people in power that are not concerned with the people, and so it's got to put it in God's hands. Because regardless of what, I don't think war's the answer. I think people should be able to sit down and communicate and come to a solution without innocent people dying. So that's just my thought about the situation. But like I said, it's out of my control. If you want, like I said yesterday, I said this in my live yesterday when I was live yesterday. I said this yesterday. I say, if you want something to be depressed about, something to worry about, then you should watch the news. And my cousin said that he preached that years ago. Like I was in my 20s when he preached that sermon. If you want something to worry and stress about, watch the news. Because and you watching it and worry about what's going on in the world is beyond your control. But things that's going on right now is beyond my control. I can get out and we can protest, we can march, but at the end of the day, it's still out of my control. But my thing, I heard this over the weekend. My thing is, are you willing to, like, they was talking about in Africa. One of the ministers went to Africa, and he just got back and he was sharing that in Africa, they have different religions there, and they're giving people jobs and but you gotta be of a certain religion in order to get certain help. And my thing is, if you would you stand on what you believe, or would you change to get financial gain? Because they live in a poor country. I'm lying. It's a poor country, and so what would you do? What would I do in a situation? Here in the States, United States, it's a little different, but it's the same. As far as like in the Catholic community, you can't, if you want your life, like here they pay bills and stuff like that, but you have to be in certain place, you have to be of a certain religion in order to get that help. Otherwise, they won't help you. So, and some churches won't even bury you unless you belong to that church. But anyway, that's a whole different topic for a whole other day. But yeah, I just want to come on. I said I was gonna come on early, and we're gonna have a better schedule from now on. We gotta do a better schedule. I'm gonna work on that, but it's better. I didn't come on early, but at least I came on. So that's another thing too. Don't show up when you're supposed to. Try to show up when you can, but even if you don't show up at that time, still show up anyway. It may take you some time to do things, run around. Things happen, but if you desire to, make sure you show up. So with that being said, you know what I mean. I don't have nothing else. Like I said, tomorrow we're gonna do it all over again. So to the person that subscribed, thanks for subscribing. I'll be back again tomorrow. I'm gonna try to come on earlier. Try to come on earlier, and that's it. So with that being said, y'all be safe, y'all be blessed. And like I always say, tell somebody love them, because you never know when you're gonna go. You never know when they're gonna go. Kiss the ones you love, because you never know you kiss them again. And like I always say, a kind word, kind gesture can go a long way. We all going through something. So never know what you can do to change, impact somebody's life. So do a kind word, kind gesture to someone, and it may change their life. So y'all be safe, y'all be blessed, and I'll be seeing you. I'm out. Peace.